So, warm welcome to all the devotees who have joined today for both the offline and the online version. There are some devotees who are there online as well. So, warm welcome to everybody. Uh, we have been discussing from the Shrimad Bhagavatam third canto, and we have now again slightly picked up pace. We went pretty slow in the first, second chapters of the third canto, basically where the pastimes of Lord Krishna were being second, third chapter actually, where the pastimes of Lord Krishna were being summarized by Uddhava. So we went through that in a very leisurely pace, one verse at a time. But now we've again picked up pace. Last time we completed several chapters talking about the process of how Brahma was born. Brahma, this whole universe is called Brahmanda. Brahmanda, which means the under the egg-shaped universe, which is created by Brahma. That's why it's called Brahmanda. So we discussed how Brahma was born. After he was born, how he was bewildered by what has happened. He was surrounded by darkness. He was just seeing a lotus on which he was born, but he couldn't see anything else. He couldn't see the Lord from whom the lotus had sprouted. He went up and down the lotus, but nothing. So then he just sat and meditated. And then after that, the Lord appeared before him, gave him all the intelligence. Brahma spoke beautiful prayers. The Lord blessed him, said that now you can, again do little austerity. And then after that, you can create. So this is where we had ended last time. And today, what we will be discussing is from the 10th chapter of this third canto. This 10th chapter is where Brahma starts the process of creation. So I had actually sent one video on the group. I don't know how many of you had a chance to see it. Anyone saw it? Okay, so two of you saw it. No one else saw it. So I
I
would,
saw,
yes, someone from
I,
online saw it, please.
I too
Okay.
saw it, Chandra.
Okay. Thank you. So, for those of you who did see it, right? I mean, it is a very, in one sense, for those who are atheists or for those who are saying that all this universe, everything just came about by chance. Ekdam, by chance, everything happened. So for them, it is a very nice, nice proof point to show that there's nothing happened by chance. It all happened by very intentional designs. Very nice scientific video, which is why a lot of scientists don't accept spirituality on the basis that so I say man ghadat hai. They call it mythology and so on. But very nicely it has been explained. So I would request everyone to, after the lecture also, you can take a look. Abhi mat dekho. Lecture के बाद देखो. Some of you might be curious, ये क्या है यार? अभी देखते हैं. See it after the lecture. So yeah, the creation of the perfectly designed universe. That is our topic for discussion today. Okay. So before that, since this is the first satsang we are having here in the new year, so I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you and wish all of you a very happy, healthy, prosperous, and extremely Krishna conscious new year. May this new year be an opportunity for all of us, to expand our consciousness, to become more serious about the process of bhakti. For everything we need an excuse. कोई भी काम करने के लिए अपने को excuse लगता है. कि जैसे कि चलो बच्चे का अभी वेकेशन चालू हो रहा है तो let us go out of station. चलो बच्चे का एग्जाम पास में आया तो अभी पढ़ाई करते हैं. एक्सक्यूज चाहिए, कोई भी चीज करने के लिए एक बहाना चाहिए. We need an excuse. So in the same way, whenever we want to start anything new or we want to do something better than what we were doing before, we need some impetus, some excuses needed. So New Year is an excuse. A lot of people say that New Year resolution. We can make resolution, we can do whatever we want, but definitely it is an opportunity for us to think about what we can do to increase our commitment to the process of bhakti. Okay, so I won't talk much about it today. Yesterday, At another place I was speaking, I spoke at length about the process of increasing our commitment to Krishna consciousness. Maybe another day I will cover that over here. So those who heard it just yesterday, like Mataji, Guru बोले वापस वही सुनने के लिए आए हम लोग. So I'll speak something different. So yeah. So Brahma, as we said, after receiving the blessings of Lord Vishnu, okay, he again did tapasya. So this is very interesting because first he did tapasya. It is described in Bhagavatam that for 100 years he did tapasya. 100 years. Of course, from Brahma's lifespan point of view, 100 years is not all that much. But 100 years he did, a long time he did. And after those 100 years, Lord Vishnu manifested. And then Lord Vishnu told him, okay, now I've given you all the blessings. Now you again do 100 years. It's like, vapas tum karo, aur fir shuru karo. But Brahma did it. And then after that, he starts the process of creation. So today we're going to discuss, mainly this one or two verses only. Okay. And there's not much purport there. Whatever is there, I will try and touch on that. Okay. So we look at the verse number, 3.10.8 and 9 बस ये दो ही verses आज हम लोग ज़्यादा discuss करेंगे. We'll not go into the details of the other things. So I'll just read text 8 and then text 9. Okay, 3.10.8, 3.10.9. So text 8, यहाँ पे थोड़ा इंटरनेट का फाइट है. Yes. Maybe I'll open it in the folio. Yes. इधर क्या बात. Okay. Yeah. So it says पद्मकोशं तदाविश्य भगवत् कर्म चोदितः एकं व्यभंसित पुरुधा त्रिधा भव्यं द्विसप्तदा. Translation: Thus engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the whole of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into three divisions of worlds, and later into 14 divisions. Okay, this is the universe he divided into first 3, and then wo 3 ko 14 banaya. Okay, so it is described. Next verse. Lord Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe because of his causeless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all 14 planetary divisions for inhabitation by the different types of living entities. So these are the two verses, and we'll try and talk about these two verses. Okay, that what is this creation that Brahma has done? I'm sure some of you at least would be curious to know what is this creation and how he made it. So in the purport of verse 9, Prabhupada starts by talking, he picks up a different thread. He says that the Supreme Lord, okay, the Supreme Lord Krishna, is the reservoir of all qualities, okay, of the living entities. Whatever qualities are there in the living entity, they are there in the Lord. And the conditioned souls in this material world, all of us, right? We only reflect part of these qualities. So if someone in this material world has intelligence, very microscopic intelligence compared to the intelligence of even Brahma, who is created by Vishnu, who is expansion of expansion of expansion. So if you go all the way to Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna, we are हमको तो गिनती में मत पकड़ो. Even Brahma doesn't count himself as very intelligent in front of the Lord. He understands that, right? Like that. And that person has created what we see today. So we will discuss what is Brahma's creation. Till now we discussed the primary creation, right? And we'll talk the secondary creation which is created Brahma, and we realize we just open our eyes. We don't need to be very intelligent. We don't need to be any scientist, genius. ऐसा कुछ जरूरी नहीं है to understand the brilliance that has gone into creation of just what we see, हमको जो अपने आंखों से बोलते हैं ना प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण, with our own eyes what we can see the brilliance of design and creation in this universe. Okay? So, so Rupa says that we reflect only part of these qualities. So if we have intelligence, it's very minute. If we have beauty, it is very minute. If we have any ability to sing, it is very minute. If we have ability to speak, it is very minute. Everything is very, 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 very small, minute reflection of the perfect, ability of the Supreme Lord. So therefore, conditioned soul in this material world are called pratibimb. We are called pratibimb. Pratibimb means we are basically reflection. As in Sanskrit, pratibimb means reflection. So reflection, these pratibimb living entities, we have inherited different proportion of its original qualities. So some may have got little more beauty. Some may have got little more intelligence. Some may have got little more strength. Some may have got little more tolerance. Like my wife has got great tolerance. She has to tolerate me. So everyone has got some quality, but it's a small fraction of what the Lord has. And in terms of the qualities that we have in this particular body, those qualities, if you remember, for those of you who have attended when we were discussing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, chapter 16, we were talking about the different modes of material nature, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna, and our body is composed of these gunas. किसी के शरीर में तमोगुण ज्यादा है, किसी के शरीर में रजोगुण ज्यादा है, और बहुत किसी के शरीर में सत्व गुण ज्यादा है. Very, very few people in this material world. Kalyuga, this sattva guna is, for all practical purposes, it is almost absent. है ही नहीं, बहुत कम लोग में है, right? और अगर है भी, it is in छोटी मात्रा. So we have particular bodies as per the activities we did in our previous lifetimes, what modes we associated with. If we primarily associated and acted in the mode of ignorance, then our body also becomes like that. Body also becomes that of mode of ignorance. If we primarily acted in the mode of passion, we get that kind of body. If we primarily acted in the mode of goodness, we'll get that kind of body. You'll see this. There are some children, when they are born itself, पैदा होते ही वो लोग तमाशा मचा देते हैं. Everything goes helter skelter. Nurses go running here. The बच्चा हो रहा है जबरदस्त, और बंद ही नहीं हो रहा है. आते ही वो लोग तहस नहस कर देते हैं सब कुछ. There are some children who are very peaceful. जरा आंख भी नहीं खोलेंगे, एकदम quietly रोएंगे तो and then they'll go sleep again, right? They are in mode of ignorance. And there are some children who are just quiet, and they just very nicely look at what is happening. कोई उनको उठा लेता है, वो लोग बिल्कुल रोते नहीं. You see this, right? I mean, you see in your own children. For those of you who have two children, you will see their natures are as different as chalk and cheese. Same father, same mother, सेम प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रोक्रिएशन, कोई फर्क नहीं, एक ही है. फिर भी एक बच्चा ऐसा, एक बच्चा है, वन इज नॉर्थ पोल, वन इज साउथ पोल. हम रॉ मटेरियल तो सेम है, प्रोसेस तो सेम है, तो फिर कैसे इतना फर्क है? दिस इज द एक्सप्लेनेशन, that they have inherited different guna as per their previous lifetime, their karma, their desires. So that is what Prabhupada is explaining here, that in terms of the inheritance of all these different qualities, they will appear as different species of life and are accommodated. What language Prabhupada uses? They will be appearing as different species of life and they will be accommodated in different planets according to the plan of Brahma. So Brahma, he creates this universe where there is a place for everyone. सबके लिए एक जगह है जहां आप जाके, स्थान आपके लिए है, बना हुआ है. There is no one in this entire universe who can say मेरे लिए तो कोई स्थान नहीं बचा. नहीं, for everyone there is some place. If you are very proud of your beauty but you are not getting an opportunity to The world is not recognizing you. Maybe in your next life you'll be born as a peacock. Okay, and the peacock is, everyone appreciates the peacock for its beauty. The extraordinary creature, right? A peacock. For anyone who says this world came about by chance, they have to just look at a peacock. Forget the peacock, just look at the peacock feather. Anyone has observed a peacock feather closely? Yeah, नजदीक से देखा है peacock feather. Look at a peacock feather from close. What is it? It has got this ulta heart shape. Ulta है जो अपना वो heart shape बनाते हैं ना हम लोग वैसा वाला. So it's got a ulta heart shape, and it has got colors black, indigo, yellow, violet, green. It's difficult to describe how many colors a peacock feather has. Okay, and that whole design is one feather like this. एक एक डंडा है उसका, वो डंडे सब डंडे एंडिंग इन वन फिलामेंट. वो फिलामेंट एक एक फिलामेंट अलग अलग, किसी में थोड़ा ब्लू, थोड़ा ब्लैक, थोड़ा येलो, ऐसे करके वो उल्टा हार्ट शेप बनता है. And every peacock feather has the same design. And this came about by chance. Come on, right? It's ridiculous. We cannot accept it. But this is what it is. A peacock has that. The peacock has we have a great desire to be, recognized for our dance and our beauty. Maybe we'll be born as a peacock, but your desire will be fulfilled. आपको यही चाहिए था ना ये, right? As a peacock, moment peacock कोई देखता है ना, last time एक बार बोल रही, peacock को देखते हैं ना सब लोग अपना फोन पहला बाहर निकालने जगह वीडियो लेने का है, because they are waiting कि अभी peacock अपना feather spread करके ऐसे ऐसे सा डांस करेगा, right? So everyone, so if you have that desire, Lord fulfills, Brahma fulfills. He has created an accommodation for all kinds of desires, for all kinds of natures. Okay, so let us describe what this accommodation he has created, what kind of place he has created. Right? Unfortunately, I am least bit qualified to talk about this topic. So actually, when we come to the fifth canto, right now we are in the third canto. थर्ड कैंटो के बाद फोर्थ कैंटो है. फोर्थ कैंटो में बहुत सारा कथा है. ये दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ क्रिएशन, सो इट कैन बी बोरिंग, but it is exciting at same time because understanding where we live, we don't know. हमने कभी सोचा नहीं है कि हम कहाँ रहते हैं, because we think मैं तो एचपीसीएल कॉलोनी में रहता है, मैं तो बीपीसीएल, मैं तो आरसीएल, मैं तो टाटा पावर. हम उसके आगे सोचते नहीं है. We don't think beyond our immediate surroundings. Look at like sometimes, I remember as a child, I would sometimes do this. I would go to the terrace of the building. I would lie down on the tank. वो जो टाकी रहता है ना, टाकी, that is the highest point of the building. Building का सबसे high point वो रहता है. वहाँ जाके I would lie down, and in the evening I would just lie down. I would look at the sky and I would see, all the birds. I would see the clouds. And slowly I would see it becoming dark, and at some point I would see the stars coming out, and you see the stars, the planets moving. If you lie down for enough time, you start seeing these things and you realize कि बाबा हम कितने insignificant है. We sometimes we have such inflated, ridiculously inflated egos. We feel that we are some कोई महातोप है ऐसा, You see the whole universe, you see everything, you realize we are nobody. We are actually nobody. So anyway, so Brahma, he creates this whole universe. Okay, and how he creates it is described in the 8th verse. He first created the 3 divisions of the universe. Universe wo jo Brahmanda hai, it is described like the whole. So I was saying the 3rd canto, 4th canto. So 5th canto jo hai, 5th canto mein the whole universal creation, the whole structure of the universe is described. So I am thinking we can maybe call Pavaneshwar Prabhu here, and he has offered already. He said that jab aapka 5th canto, this we have one devotee, one brahmachari called Pavaneshwar Prabhu, who is the acclaimed master of this whole topic of the cosmology. It's called Vedic cosmology. We know of cosmology which the scientists talk about, but Vedic cosmology is like a master in it. So 5th canto में ये बहुत आता है, and ये अगर हम लोग ऐसे मेरे जैसे व्यक्ति कवर करेगा ना, तो आप लोग ऐसा सब बैग पैक करके वापस कभी नहीं आएंगे, never come back. But if he covers it, you'll be able to make some sense of it. So maybe we can do that. Just can remember, huh? He's written a book also, Vedic cosmology. Beautiful. All right. So he created these first three divisions of the universe. Okay. Universe is described to be in the shape of an egg. Okay. Under. And because Brahma is the one who has done the creation in that under, it is called Brahma under, Brahmand. Okay. So this Brahmand, this universe, three divisions of the universe. First, he created the lower planets, which is called the Patala Lokas, which are fully gross. There's nothing subtle in the lower planets. Okay. Then the Bhurloka. Bhurloka is where we stay. Bhurloka. Okay. Which is got little bit of subtle, little bit of gross. And then there are the upper planets. Okay. The three divisions. No, there is Patal Loka, Bhurloka, and it is called Swarloka. Swarloka is the higher planetary systems, which is very subtle. As you go higher and higher, everything becomes more and more subtle. Okay, there you will see less and less of the gross elements over there. You see more subtle things there. So there are these three divisions that first Brahma creates. Okay, then out of these three, 14 divisions are created. So let us discuss what are these 14 divisions. Okay, it is technical, I accept. Okay, but at least एक बार जिंदगी में ना ये सुनना चाहिए. क्यों ना? Because हम लोग we just hear these terms. वो तो स्वर्गवासी हो गए. ये स्वर्ग कहाँ से आया? ये स्वर्गवासी क्यों हुए? नरकवासी क्यों नहीं हुए? Why he went to स्वर्ग only? Why not नरक? It's a good question, right? No one will say that ये नरकवासी हो गए. बोलेंगे तो उनको कोई तो थप्पड़ मार के भेजेगा भागो ऐसे है कि नहीं but still at least we should understand as as students of Vedic literature we should try to understand what is this Swarga. So these higher planetary systems is where the Swarga comes. We'll talk about it. Okay, so as I said there is lower planetary system which are called the Patala Lokas. There is the higher planetary system which are called the Swarlokas, and the earthly planets where we live are called Bhulok. Okay, so let us discuss first the lower planets. Okay, this is all description, all taken from Bhagavatam. ये मेरा का नहीं है. Okay, I'm just taking from Bhagavatam. I'm just representing what is there over here. So below the earthly Bhuloka, there is a sevenfold realm. 7 layers are there. Okay, which are called Bilaswarga. Bilaswarga or the underworld heaven. It's very interesting. This is the Bhagavatam. Below the realm of the earthly planets, in that plane, if you look at it as a plane, in that plane, us plane ke niche there are 7 realms, sevenfold realm called Bilaswarga, where ignorance predominates. There is ignorance there, okay? And sunlight never penetrates. There is no light there. So what is the source of light? It's given over here. So these are called Atara, Vitara, Sutara, Tanatara, Mahatara, Rasatara, and the lowest is called Patala. Okay. So there are 7 planets which are below the earthly realm of Bhuloka. Atara, Vitara, Sutara, Talatara, Mahatara, Rasatara, and Patala. Now, no one expects you to remember. Even I don't. I am reading. That's why I am reading. कोई इसका याद करने का जरूरत भी नहीं है और हमको वहां जाना भी नहीं है. मतलब बहुत ज्यादा फाइट मार के रिसर्च करके नहीं इसका एड्रेस मेरे को गूगल मैप्स का पिन भेजो इसका मैं देखना चाहता हूँ. नहीं ना बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाना. But we should know that such planets exist and we'll talk about it why they exist. इनका क्या जरूरत है? एक अर्थ प्लैनेट बनाया बहुत हो गया ना, और क्या चाहिए? है नहीं क्या जरूरत है सब? We'll discuss. So it is described out of this Sutala. Sutala, anyone knows what is Sutala? Anyone has heard this name before? Bali Maharaj, who was, who put Lord Vamandev put his head on Bali Maharaj's, he put his foot on Bali Maharaj's head, right? And then he was sent down to Sutala Loka, which is one of the netherworld planets. But Vamandev said, I will stand there as your God, I will always be there with you to give you a resource. Though you are going to that planet, you will be with me all the time. I will be giving you my personal association. So there he is there. Then this Maya Danam, anyone has heard the name? Maya Danam? Fire. Then the one who built Maya Sabha, Indraprasth, the one who built Indraprasth. उसका गांव कौन सा है? उसका गांव है तलातल. He comes from Talatal planet. So Talatal planet is famous for Maya. Then there is Mahatal, okay, where there are ferocious serpents. There is Rasatal, where there are the Daityas and Danavas live there. And finally, there is the Patala Loka, which is the lowest hellish planet. Okay. So these are the lower planets. Okay. Now let us talk. There is the middle planet, which is the Bhuloka, which is earthly planets. Okay, which are in our sphere, जो हमको दिखता है, जो नजर आता है, that is the Bhuloka. And then there are the higher planets. So we had 7 below. We have 1 here. तो कितने हो गए? 8 हो गए. कितने बाकी हैं? 6 बाकी हैं. Because there are 14 planets. He divided first into 3 and then the 3 divided into 14. So out of 14, 8 हो गया. अभी 6 बचा है. Which are those 6? Let us cover. So there is Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. There are these 6 lokas. These names you will do well to remember if you want to, because they are higher than our realm of existence. Where we are, whichever level we are, we should always see New Year resolution का क्या मतलब है? We don't take New Year resolution, I will put on 7 kilos of weight. We always try to improve ourselves. No? Unless we are underweight, then it's a good resolution. Otherwise, most of us are not underweight. Most of us are all अच्छे खाते पीते परिवार के लगते हैं सब लोग. तो हम लोग ऐसा resolution is always about something improvement, no? So same way, if at all you want to be in the material world, आपने decide किया हमको नहीं चाहना ये spiritual world, ये ISKCON वाले बोलते रहते हैं go back to Godhead, back to आज सुबह अपने बलदेव प्रभु ने भी mention किया है, the purpose of life is to go back to Godhead, not to be here. हमको नहीं जाना, हमको तो ये मटेरियल वर्ल्ड ही अच्छा लगता है. तो एटलीस्ट थिंक अबाउट हायर पोजीशन इन मटेरियल वर्ल्ड, राइट? लाइक दैट. So these higher planets. So Bhuvarloka is the place where Rakshasas and ghosts are there. Swargaloka is the heavenly planets. Swargaloka is where Lord Indra and all the what we call 33 million demigods, they live there. Okay, Devatas. Then there are 3 planets that are above Swarga. They are above Swarga. Those are Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. There are these 3 planets which are above. So the highly enlightened living entities, those who have achieved great level of purification of their senses, of their mind, who have taken to a spiritual process, and are very much attached to that process, but are not on the realm of pure love of God, they can be elevated to these planets. Okay, so Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, as the name suggests, the Siddhas, the Yoga Siddhas, they can reside on these planets if they desire at the end of their life. And then finally, there is Satyaloka, which is the abode of Lord Brahma. The highest planet in this material world is the Satyaloka, which is the abode of Brahma. So if you see the egg, the top of the egg is the Satyaloka, bottom of the egg is the Patala. Very good, you are all attentive. Shiva, everyone wants to know, I hope, what is this 14 planetary systems that we are talking about. So it is interesting to understand now that you have understood the fact, right? There are 3 divisions, 3 division का 14 division, and वो 14 division हम लोग ने अभी we went through the names. So it is interesting to understand why were these planets created. 14 planetary system क्यों बनाया और even 3 क्यों बनाया? Why good planets and lower planets and higher planets? Why were they created? And how does one get there? वहां पहुंचे कैसे? So once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj had given a very nice example that someone asked a question that Maharaj, why is there a need for hellish planet? There is enough suffering here also. वापस hellish planet अलग से क्यों बना है? मतलब क्या जरूरत है? यहाँ पे कुछ कम suffering है क्या? हाँ, या तो फिर why was heavenly planet made? यहाँ पे भी अच्छा खासा हम लोग एंजॉय कर लेते हैं, तो वहां जाने का क्या जरूरत है, राइट? So very valid question somebody asked, and Maharaj answered it as follows. It's very interesting what Maharaj said. Maharaj said that this material world that we live in, okay, now everyone read. This is very interesting. That this material world that we live in, the standard of enjoyment in this material world is very low. Very low. Because over here, even the enjoyment that we get, मतलब sensual enjoyment that we get, उसके लिए कड़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ती, बहुत मेहनत. Whatever enjoyment you look at, you have to really work hard. And even if you get enjoyment, it doesn't last. Whatever enjoyment you get, whatever, gross se gross, subtle se subtle, that enjoyment in this material world doesn't last for more than a few seconds or minutes. It's gone. You eat a very delicious, किसी ने एक बढ़िया कटलेट बनाया. कटलेट सबको अच्छा लगता है. कुछ अलग बोला, ये बार गुलाब जामुन नहीं बोला. गुलाब जामुन बोला तो अभी से सबको भूख लगना लगेगा. कटलेट बोला तो कुछ अलग, nice cutlet, succulent, made with potato, peas, beetroot, nice masala, perfect. हाँ, वो मैं कहाँ से शुरू किया भूल गया. एक मिनट, क्या बोल रहे हैं? Enjoyment. Cutlet. अगर cutlet आपने खाया उसका आपको थोड़ा, it will dance on your tongue. The taste will dance on your tongue, right? The oil, the masalas, तीखा थोड़ा, खट्टा थोड़ा, अमचूर डालते हैं ना उसमें, अमचूर का खट्टा बनाया, उसका तीखा बनाया, vegetables का एक flavor आया. That all those tastes are dancing on your tongue, isn't it? They are not dancing on your tongue. And they dance for how many seconds? Few seconds. उसके बाद गया नीचे और मिलेगा सेकंड है, सेकंड हेल्पिंग नहीं है, एक ही है कटलेट, सबको एक ही मिलेगा. एंड यू आर लाइक क्या यार, और एक, एंड यू आर वेटिंग कि सबका होने के बाद मैं जाके और एक लेता हूं, है ना? So enjoyment in this material world is pachit, as they say in Marathi, very less, hardly, doesn't last, right? But not so for suffering. Suffering का ऐसा नहीं है. सफरिंग का जो इंटेंसिटी है यहाँ पे, वो ऐसा खतरनाक है कि आपको अगर, मतलब गॉड फॉरबिड किसी को होना नहीं चाहिए, जिसको कैंसर होता है ऑफ द बोन, द काइंड ऑफ सफरिंग दे गो, दे स्क्रीमिंग इन पेन, उनको मॉर्फिन देते हैं टू डल देयर सेंसेस, बट स्टिल द पेन डजंट, इट्स सो हॉरिबल. कैंसर इज लाइक, राइट? Back pain. I am the ambassador of back pain in this congregation, right? So back pain just doesn't go, जाता ही नहीं है, and pain होता है तो इतना intense pain है वो. No pleasure in the world has that intensity and that longevity as the misery in this world. So Maharaj is making a very good point that first of all in this world, what pleasure you get is very less, very difficult to attain, and doesn't last. And what misery you get in this world is very easy to attain. You don't have to even do anything. अपने आप आ जाता है. And it lasts long and it is very intense. But then what is the need for heavenly planet? अगर यहाँ पे जो heavenly तो भी समझ गए, hellish planet का क्यों जरूरी है? So the point that Maharaj was making was, he said that in this material world, okay, whatever you may do, you will get your, good karma, your bad karma. For good karma, you will get good result. For bad karma, you will get bad result. You will get suffering. And for good karma, you will get enjoyment. मिलेगा आपको, आपके भाग्य का मिलने ही वाला है, चाहे आपको चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए, you are going to get it. There is no getting away from. Okay, but remind me to tell the story in the end, if there is time, about this karma aspect, how you are destined to get your, your share of your suffering or enjoyment. End में बोलता हूँ, time रहेगा तो. Okay, so the karma that we have, we are going to get our share of suffering and enjoyment in the world. Maybe I lost my track again. What was that? हाँ, intensity of misery. Prabhuji is attentive. बराबर. So Maharaj said, then what is the need for heavenly planets? What is the need for hellish planets? यहाँ पे suffering है, यहाँ पे enjoyment भी है. So he was saying, sometimes the quality of पाप कर्म, मतलब हमारा स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पाप कर्म इतना बढ़िया है, इतना हाई लेवल का पाप किया है कि इस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में ऐसा कोई औजार नहीं है. देयर इज नो इंस्ट्रूमेंट और नो इलनेस और डिजीज दैट कैन गिव यू इनफ सफरिंग फॉर द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ पाप कर्म यू हैव डन. So hence there is the hellish planets. The hellish planets are created for those individuals who have such matlab such expertise in breaking laws of nature, such expertise in creating suffering for others, such expertise in doing bad things. उनके लिए खास मतलब अच्छा आपको यहाँ का सफरिंग नहीं जम रहा है, चलो आपके लिए कुछ एक्स्ट्रा स्टैंडर्ड वाला, तो उनके लिए हेलिश प्लैनेट क्रिएट किया. In the same way, for those whose pious credits are so much, इतना पुण्य काम किया है, इतने लोगों का भला किया है, इतना पुण्य किया है कि उनके लिए इस जगत पे को कॉम्पेंसेट करने के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं. This is not enough. It is like someone who may be a millionaire or a billionaire in, let's say, in China, okay, or in, let's say, Mongolia, okay. मंगोलिया में कोई एकदम बिलियनर है, वो बिलियनर यहाँ इंडिया में आता है, मंगोलियन उसका जो भी करेंसी लेके आता है और वो करेंसी से यहाँ पे कुछ मिलता नहीं है, तो अरे यार वो बिलियनर क्या करे, हमको आपको आपके पैसे के हिसाब से आपको देने जैसा आपको कुछ है ही नहीं. We don't have anything, right? So in the same way, if a person has got such high standard of pious credit, then they are sent to the heavenly planets. So heavenly planets are created especially to give enjoyment to the people who have done very, very nice pious credits. Okay, so that is why these two things are there. Yeah. Yes. Who is sending? Who is? Uh, uh, uh. Very good question. So how is it that I can go to higher planets? How is it I can go to lower planets? What is it that is happening? So first of all, whether I go up or I go down in my journey is decided by my own karma. Okay, it is executed by material nature. Executed by material nature, but it is decided by my karma and my desire also. So if my karma and my desire are in a particular way, I will be given that kind of body in that kind of planetary place which is just suitable to execute my karma and my desire. Yes, that's what we said in the beginning, that Brahma has created a planet for every kind of desire, every kind of guna, quality, and every kind of karma. There is a place for everyone in the whole universe. आप जो भी level पे हो, आपके लिए एक जगह बनाई गई है. Exactly. In the same way, if you are able to show qualities, if you are able to develop qualities that have no place in this material world, you are transcending the material world, then we can go to the spiritual. That is Bhagavad Dham, as we call it. If we have material qualities, we will probably go to the highest planet in the material world. But even the highest planet in the material world, we'll conclude with that, I'll come to that again. Highest planet in the material world also is the material world only still. No, it is, you can still come down again. ऊपर से वापस नीचे आ सकते हो आप. That's why, we have to modify our lives. We have to modify our habits so that we are able to understand. पहले तो समझे कि हम कहाँ हैं. If I don't know where I am, then how will I decide where I want to go? Let me understand where I am, what is my consciousness, what is my position in this material world, and then understand where I want to go. What gives us the direction? What gives us the understanding where to go, how to go? Scripture. When we take shelter of scripture, then we start to understand. We don't understand. I'll not say make a statement, we understand. We start to understand कि भाई मैं कौन? Who am I? This is God. What is my relationship with Him? Why am I suffering? When we come to ask these questions, that's when we come to the platform of human life. We start understanding who we are, what we are here for, what we can do to get out of the situation. We'll come back. Okay? Did that answer your question? Thank you. So, yeah. So, just we discussed about why hell and heaven are needed, why these planets are needed, right? So we can also understand Radha Gopinath Prabhu, he always gives this example. He says that जब city बन जाता है, कोई भी नया शहर बनता है, तो नए शहर के साथ क्या बनता है? जेल बनता है. Every city, if you just, it's very interesting. Every city, there is a jail. Some cities, there are many jails. Bombay, we have one in Arthur Road, we have one in Thane. पुलिस स्टेशन तो सब जगह है, छोटा छोटा जेल रहेगा उनका, और ऐसा जो बड़ा
slums are there whenever
slums also are there. Yeah, wherever you go there are slums, wherever you go there are police stations, there are jails. You may say क्या यार सिटी बना भी नहीं है और आप जेल बना रहे हो? What is the jail and why are you designing it? It's because no matter what you do, आप चाहे कितने भी वैदिक प्रिंसिपल पे सिटी बनाओ, गेटेड कम्युनिटी बनाओ, सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम, सीसीटीवी, फलाना ढिमकाना सब डालो उसमें, तो भी कोई ना कोई रहेगा जो लॉस तोड़ेगा, तो सबका जीना हराम करेगा. ऐसे व्यक्ति के लिए जेल बनता है. So jail is designed along with the material world. Material world only is a jail actually, in one sense. The whole material world is a jail. Because we are originally not from here, we belong to the spiritual world. But we have come here because of our own desire. Right? So in this material world, in this big jail, there is one bigger jail. Like वो solitary confinement वाला रहता है ना, जेल के अंदर भी एक अंडा सेल होता है, यहाँ पे एकदम खुफिया जो बहुत ही बेकार वाले जो टेररिस्ट वगैरह रहते हैं, dungeon, उसको dungeon बोलते हैं, उसको solitary confinement. So even in this big jail of Brahmanda, there are more important jails for more important people who are performing great activities, of sinful activities. They will go there. So like that. So coming back, and similarly, when you design a city, you also design beautiful parks, you design beautiful gardens, right? City planners ideally should be doing. Bombay में ये होता नहीं है, unfortunately. Bombay में तो खाली building पे building बन रहा है. वो अलग बात है, because here people are not planning. But yeah, जो genuine city planning हुआ है, like किसी को नवी मुंबई is a planned city. Chandigarh is a planned city. These are planned cities. So you can see everywhere there is greenery, the roads are numbered, everything is nicely done. There are like mindless construction is not going on. This is what it is. So like that. So this creation, this whole creation, as we started the premise on, that Brahma has created this universe so that anyone according to their specific nature and specific karma will have a place to reside and perform their activities as per their own desire, right? And another very interesting thing, all these planets and stars and whatever we see in this universe, they are perfectly aligned, they are perfectly designed within this universe. By whom? By Brahma. You say, नहीं, ये तो ज़्यादा हो गया. Planets का क्या design है? They just came about by a big bang. By a big bang, one may ask a question that Big Bang हुआ, तो फिर उसमें से planets कैसे बने? Atmosphere कैसे बना? How did the atmosphere get created? How did how come these massive? Anyone has an idea how much the Earth weighs? Anyone has any idea how much the Earth weighs? Take a guess. Even I don't know. Yeah, it could be maybe some 10 trillion tons or something like that. What some ridiculous number like that. A body that is so massive, so heavy, floating. Basically a very big number, right? Google Maharaj ne hum log ko immediately enlighten kar diya. So point is when there is such a heavy body which stays 5 to the 5 into 10 raised to 24 kilos, इतना heavy body है ये हवा में कॉटन के बॉल के जैसा फ्लोट कैसे कर? It is rotating at what speed? 185 miles per second. Something like that. It's rotating at that speed. It is revolving at another ridiculous speed. Okay? But वो ऐसा नीचे क्यों नहीं ग्रेविटी वो सन के ग्रेविटी से उसको पकड़ के रखा है मतलब स्पेस में ग्रेविटी है सन के ग्रेविटी से उसको पकड़ के सन के फोर्स से उसको पकड़ के रखा है सन में ग्रेविटी है ओके बट देन व्हाई दे आर गोइंग लाइक दिस व्हाई आरंट दे गोइंग लाइक दिस ऐसा क्यों नहीं जा रहे एंड व्हाई दे इवन रिवॉल्विंग क्यों रिवॉल्व होना चाहिए दे शुड जस्ट बी ऐसा जैसा एक नेल पे धागे से बॉल को ऐसा लटकाया तो ऐसा लटका हुआ रहना चाहिए व्हाई दे आर मूविंग व्हाई दे आर रोटेटिंग रिवॉल्विंग क्या कोई कारण है I remember once in school when I was in school one of my friends he is also now an initiated devotee in Krishna consciousness Sachit Anush Prabhu. So he asked the geography teacher, "Ma'am, I have a question. This is in 7th or 8th standard, okay? And teachers don't like such questions. They just do it. He asked the question, "Ma'am, why does the earth rotate?" गलत अभी इसको क्या जवाब दे why does the earth rotate it's a very fundamental question why does the earth rotate why do the planets revolve around the sun so very difficult to explain very difficult to answer these questions right you see everything not a single planet is just falling through space the whole universe with all whatever planets stars we can see are all just floating in space. Jupiter is what? How many times the size of Earth? So maybe 500 times the size of Earth. Floating in space. लॉजिक है मतलब अपने आप हो गया ये सब इतना बड़ा प्लैनेट विद 21 moons going around it stable every year वही ऑर्बिट में घूमता है सेम ऑर्बिट वही स्पीड में रोटेट करता है हमारा प्लैनेट भी वही स्पीड में रोटेट करता है वही स्पीड में रिवॉल्व करता है कैसे कोई पूछता नहीं नो वन आस्क नो वन इंटरेस्टेड इन नोइंग ये कैसे हो गया भाई ऐसा कैसा अपने आप हो गया very interesting they never leave their orbits second all these planets higher planets lower planets their atmosphere is designed to perfectly suit the inhabitants there which is why our earth planet whatever atmosphere we have is perfectly suited for us same thing if we go to the moon we go to Mars why we can't live there because our body is not suited for that atmosphere that atmosphere doesn't suit us that is why we can't live there no matter how much the richest man on this earth Elon Musk वो कितना भी फाइट मारे मार्स पे एक वो भेज भी दे या मून पे भेज भी दे वो may send maybe something there even if he succeeds in sending no one will come back alive no one it's not possible because that atmosphere is not suited you'll have to take massive suits with oxygen cylinders how long will those cylinders last वहां पे ऑक्सीजन है ही नहीं तो आप क्या करोगे वहां पे प्लांट्स नहीं है जो ऑक्सीजन जनरेट करके देंगे आपके लिए फ्री में, है ना? So like that. So what atmosphere is there is suited for that planet, not for inhabitants of others. So we have our atmosphere is perfectly suited for us. Look at the perfect design over here. We'll come to it later, but now I'll not talk about it. Their time calculations are different. So in the very next section after this, verse 10, Vidura says to Maitreya, please tell me about time, which is one of the energies of the Lord. Tell me about time. So then we'll discuss in 11, 12, 13, we'll discuss about time. And there's one whole chapter about the very next chapter is about time. So we'll take that next time. But yeah, the time calculations are different. So the day on the earthly planet and the day in the heavenly planets is different. So यहाँ पे what the heavenly planets may one day is calculated as 6 months of our time. Have you ever heard that? Heavenly planets may one day is 6 months of our time. Higher you go in the planetary system, the time becomes slower and slower. It's all relativity. Like you see a day on Uranus, is probably 1 year over here because it has got a bigger orbit. So in the same way, because these are higher planets, their concept of time is different. So the time calculations are different. All designed perfectly as per वो planet के लिए क्या जरूरी है वो हिसाब से बनाया है. Persons can only reach a particular planet or get the body of a particular species as per our karma and desire. So अगर आपका कर्मा नहीं है तो आप स्वर्ग नहीं जा सकते, नहीं जा सकते. We like to say that, like I said at the beginning, when someone passes away, हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? स्वर्गवासी हो गए, भगवान को प्यारे हो गए. अलग अलग नाइस वेज we say कि मर गए ऐसे नहीं बोलता कोई, right? We say that वो स्वर्गवासी हो गए. Swargavasi is not such a simple thing. It's not so cheap. Like I said, only if your standard of activity is so wonderful that यहाँ पे आपके लिए कोई आपको कॉम्पेंसेट करने जैसा कोई यहाँ पे चीज नहीं है, तो फिर आपको स्वर्ग में भेजिए. वरना स्वर्गवासी नहीं, हम लोग यहीं पे रहेंगे, शायद नरकवासी हो गए. If we have done lot of sinful activity in our life, don't think we can just go scot free. It doesn't work like that. Right? We have to earn whatever we are getting. And that video which I sent to all of you, any more people who have seen it? Okay, one more, two more. Okay. So if you saw that video, it is very revealing. I just give a small flavor of it, and I want you all to see it after the program. Maybe you can see it's only 6 minutes. It's not a long one. 6 minute ka hai, but it is good investment of your 6 minutes. Even if you're not a very scientifically minded person, science doesn't matter. But at least if you just hear it, you'll understand. Something you will understand. So from galaxies, the galaxies that we see, what if it is our galaxy? It's called Milky Way. Milky Way galaxy कैसे operate होता है? How the planets and stars in the Milky Way, how they move, how they are organized, their orbits. How come they don't crash into each other, by the way? They don't crash. Earth planet has been in existence for billions of years. टकराए नहीं, इतने सारे planets हैं, इतने सारे stars हैं, कोई टकराए नहीं अपने से. क्या बात है, मतलब कोई लॉजिक है इसमें? कोई लॉजिक नहीं है. But anyway, so he says that from galaxies and stars to even subatomic particles. See, we have got this BARC, Bhabha Atomic Research Center. कल मुझे पता चला, आप लोग का बीपी HPCL कॉलोनी कितने, how big is it by the way? Any girls or anyone knows? 50. BPCL कितना होगा? हाँ, 45 acres. कोई अनुमान लगाओ कि अणुशक्ति नगर कितना बड़ा है, BRC कितना है? Just guess. Not even close.
2000 acres.
1,700 acres.
2000 I said probably.
Okay, you said 2000? Okay, great. so, so there are, okay. Sorry. You guys are able to hear me online? Online, you are able to hear me?
Yes.
So 1,700 acres is what is Anu Shakti Nagar and DARC. 1,700 in Bombay, yeah. सोचो. And उनका क्या काम है? They are studying subatomic particles. Still trying to figure out कि इसको हार्नेस कैसा किया जाए. इसके अंदर इतना एनर्जी भरा हुआ है. इसको हार्नेस कैसे करें? अभी इसमें एनर्जी भरा किसने? अपने आप आ गया. By chance. Just see the number of ridiculous assumptions we are making on a daily basis. एकदम रोजमर्रा के जिंदगी में हम लोग कितने assumptions करते हैं. We accept everything all by chance, and they're still trying to figure out. So he's saying over here that whether you look at the galaxies and stars to even subatomic particles, what the scientists have found is that the very structure of our universe, okay, अपना universe का जो पूरा structure है, it is determined by certain numbers, which are called constants, fundamental constants or quantities. Okay. Now, we don't want to get too much into the science and the actual number behind it, but there are certain things, okay, certain things in this universe which are constant. They never change. They never change. उनका value same रहता है. कभी भी, even if you saw it like 5 million years ago, or you see it 5 million years from today, those numbers don't change. What are those? G, which is the gravitational constant. Then speed of light. Then there's something called Planck's constant. There's something called cosmological constant, which determines the speed at which the universe is expanding. Then there is the mass of proton, electron, and neutron. Then the ratio of the mass of electron to proton. I know it's not technical, but these are constants, which are constant across everything in this universe. Okay. And the scientists have found, this is where it gets very scary interesting. They have found that these constants are so finely tuned, so perfect उसका value है कि उसको एक hair के breadth से भी change किया, the universe as we know it will not exist. Just won't. Okay. There will be, they say, even if it was altered by a small thing, they say no physical interactive life of any kind can exist anywhere. There would be no star, there would be no planets, and there would be no life. Okay, so he gives an example. See that video, because that video very beautifully with images and everything, they have very nicely demonstrated. He says that if you change the value of this gravitational constant G, right, which determines the gravitational force between objects, if we change it by a number as small as 1 divided by 10 to the power 60. So we say, हम लोग कभी कभी बोलते होते हैं ना, अरे 0.01% भी नहीं है. ऐसा हम लोग कभी कभी बोलते हैं ना, 0.01% क्या है? That is 0.1% बोलते हैं, समझो 1% बोलते हैं तो मानो 0.1% is 1 divided by 10. 0.01 is 1 divided by 100. It means 1 divided by 10 to the power of 2. Now 10 to the power of 60 means 1 followed by 60 zeros. So 1 divided by 1 followed by 60. उतने से भी अगर G का value change हुआ, even by that much, if it increases, whole universe will collapse, into each other even by that much. And if it increases by even that same amount, the whole universe will split apart so much that there will be no life possible. This is not being said by the Hare Krishnas. That's why I sent the video to all of you. Take a look. It's not being said by ISKCON. This is being acknowledged by scientists. There is a quote by Stephen Hawking in that video by prominent scientists. Okay. So this is how fine-tuned the whole universe is. He gives many examples. I have just taken one example for us to understand that this material world, okay, has not come about by chance. There is a brilliant and very, very precise design that has been created by its creator, by Brahma. Everything was perfect. It was a 6 sigma. Everything per 6 is not even 1 sigma, not even 1 part per million का scope नहीं of any change. So perfectly created. Now you may say कि यार ये universe है हम लोग ये सब समझते हैं. वो ऊपर से चला गया एकदम bouncer. मेरे को भी bouncer. Even I don't know. If someone asks me what is the value of chi, I don't know. What is Planck's constant? मालूम नहीं. मैं रट्टा मार के आ गया बोल दिया इधर. मेरे को भी नहीं मालूम, right? But let's look at the Earth planet. Let's not go to the universe. Okay, I said that we'll come back to our day-to-day life. Let's look at the Earth planet and just look at the design that is there on the Earth planet. Every country, of course, countries have been created by us, right? But every geographical area of this world has its own blessing. They all have their own natural resource. They all have natural resources by which they can sustain their lives. Every country, they will either have abundance of fresh water, or they'll have oil, or they'll have minerals, gems, gold, diamonds. Something will be there in that country. चलो कुछ भी नहीं है. They'll have many animals. People will come to see. Africa may people go to see animals. What is there? In many of these countries in Africa, there's nothing. But they have beautiful animals, right? They've got tens of thousands of acres of forest land, uninhabited by humans, except those who come on jeeps with cameras in hand, right? वहां पे रहता कोई नहीं है. ये animals ही रहते हैं उधर. And just for that, उनका सारा economy उसपे चलता है, right? Some of them don't have water, they don't have oil, they don't have any precious minerals or gems, they don't have any animals, they just have natural beauty. Just natural beauty. बोलते हैं ना कि अगर इस जमीन पे कहीं जन्नत है तो वो कहाँ है? वो कश्मीर, कश्मीर, कश्मीर बोलते हैं. कश्मीर, न्यूजीलैंड. Anyone been to New Zealand? Nobody. I have just my company sent me. I didn't go. ऐसा मैं सोचा कि ये क्या कहाँ घूमता है. नहीं, फिर कंपनी भेजा तो मैं चला गया. न्यूजीलैंड is like heaven on earth. वहां पे कुछ नहीं है, but super beautiful. Small country somewhere in southern hemisphere. मतलब कोई देखेगा भी नहीं, but गए तो मतलब जन्नत है वो. It's so beautiful. They don't have anything. They don't have any precious resources, nothing they've got. But such a beautiful country. It's like heaven on earth. You want to see heaven on earth? Go to New Zealand. Every country has something. This is design. That कोई भी किसी भी देश में भूखा नहीं मरेगा अगर वो अपना दिमाग यूज करेगा, right? So every country has been given some resources for their sustenance. Every country. We say how much fresh water is there in this earth? Anyone knows? Drinking water कितना है? What percentage of water? Yeah, they say it's something between 2 and 3%, something like that. 2 and 3% of the water resources on this earth are potable. You can drink that water. Still everyone survives. Population of the world is growing. कितना भी 8 बिलियन हो गए. पानी सबको मिलता है. ठीक है, किसी को गंदा मिलता है, किसी को अच्छा मिलता है, किसी को मिनरल वाटर मिलता है पेरियर का. हाँ, बट पानी, पीने का पानी सब देशों में है. Every country has some lakes, some rivers which provide water. This is design. This is design. Even here, people get a flavor of heavenly pleasure and hellish misery. यहाँ पे भी मिल जाता है. So so someone who lives in in Mumbai or in Delhi during the winter season gets a good flavor of what is hellish planet, right? Those who live in London, London is it's a very amazing thing that why the British, why they conquered the whole world, because their country was not worth living in. बहुत बेकार है वहाँ पे, एकदम foggy, always dark, dingy, very cold and horrible weather they have, full year long, almost the whole year. So that's why they went out in search for better places like India and so on. So hellish misery is there, and heavenly pleasures are also there. Not fully, but to some extent it is there. So the design that has gone into just the Earth planet, कहीं और देखने का जरूरत नहीं है. Look at it. There is everything, all key elements that are needed for survival. They are designed to replenish themselves. So we have the carbon cycle. These are some of us might have studied and we may remember school में पढ़ा होगा carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle. किसी को याद है? नाम तो याद होगा. अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाते वक्त we might have pretended that we also know this when we are teaching our children, ना? नाम तो सुना होगा. Nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis? What is photosynthesis? Anyone knows what is photosynthesis? Yes, Madhuri? हाँ, क्लोरोफिल का केमिकल फॉर्मूला कोई जानता है? हाँ, नहीं, जानने का जरूरत नहीं है. But we know it is a complex molecule. Plants know how to manufacture it. Plants. सीड डालो जमीन में, पानी डालो, उसको क्लोरोफिल बनाना आता है. क्या फैक्ट्री है? Using मट्टी and pani and sunlight, they are able to create food. Same matti, same air, same sunlight, same water. One plant is able to create a succulent mango. One is able to create an exotic fruit like a jackfruit. One is able to create a bitter amlaki fruit. Same. कहीं रोज बनता है, कहीं चाफा बनता है, कहीं जैस्मिन बनता है, कहीं मोगरा बनता है, कहीं एस्टर बनता है जिसका कोई फ्रेग्रेंस नहीं है लेकिन ब्यूटीफुल है. Isn't it amazing? Same ingredients, same raw material, nothing is changed. चाफा पता है सब लोग को? चाफा, everyone knows चाफा, fragrance, such a beautiful fragrance. मट्टी में से आ रहा है रोज. Every day my father, in the morning he goes for a walk. There's one chafa tree there. वो chafa tree के सब flowers वो tree, उसके tree के नीचे car parked रहता है. So every day in the morning he goes at 6:15 in the morning and he picks all those chafa flowers and he comes and brings for our altar. Altar पे भगवान को चढ़ा देते. And every day that tree is producing fragrant chafa flowers from that same Bombay की मिट्टी. Isn't that miraculous? This is design. ये होता है डिजाइन कि रॉ मटेरियल वही होगा लेकिन फिनिश प्रोडक्ट अलग होगा. ये चांस से हो रहा है? Impossible. This is what is design. Photosynthesis, simply by using something that's abundantly available all over the earth, sunlight, water, soil, plants are able to create food. That food sustains all living entities. All. There's enough for everyone. This is design. This does not happen by chance, right? Just imagine, okay, I'll end with this. Just imagine if the plants didn't produce oxygen. जैसे अभी, अभी, like if we now we are in Kali Yuga, right? We are in Kali Yuga where everyone is selfish, everyone is desperate. अगर आपको पता चले, okay, that there is now, like जैसे अपना हाँ कोविड के टाइम चल रहा था, कोविड के टाइम ये जो सिलेंडर्स का मारामारी चल रहा था, everyone was fighting, सब लोग अपना जुगाड़ बना रहे थे, सब लोग अपना कॉन्टैक्ट्स का पूरा इस्तेमाल कर रहे थे to get ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर. Why? Insecurity. ऑक्सीजन खत्म हो गया तो मेरे को नहीं मिला, अगर मुझे कोविड हो गया तो I should have something. That is our intrinsic nature. We are selfish by nature. It just comes very naturally to us. Imagine the Lord has created a system. Oxygen replenish होता है. अब जितना ऑक्सीजन रोज every moment while we are sitting in this room now, we have probably consumed maybe 1 ton of oxygen in the last 1 hour, right? All going to be replenished automatically by the plants. What if the plants didn't do that? We are generating carbon dioxide. They are taking that carbon dioxide and generating oxygen. Isn't this design? How is it happening? Imagine if this was not there, if the plants also did the same thing, take oxygen and create carbon dioxide. World would have ended in 5 days. 5 दिन में सब खत्म हो जाता था. Everyone will be fighting for whatever oxygen is there, and it's over. Imagine if there was no oxygen, regeneration in this world. So what about something more basic? Okay, body. What if the body didn't decompose after we die? हम लोग तो बॉडी को जलाते हैं, हिंदुओं में तो बॉडी को जला ही देते, बट टुडे Hindus are in minority in the world. Everyone, there are more Muslims and Christians than there are Hindus. They don't burn the body, they bury the body. What if the body didn't decompose? Body decomposes. Moment the soul leaves the body, immediately, instantly, body starts decomposing. Maybe by chance. Because while they are alive, body doesn't decompose. It doesn't. Yes, it does. In one sense, it does. The cells keep dying and fresh cells are being created. But one point comes in our life when no fresh cells are being created, only cells are dying. And that's when we age and we die at one point. When we die, the body decomposes. This is the design of nature. Because if it doesn't, then there will be only bodies everywhere. What do you do with those bodies? जो जला नहीं रहे bodies को क्या करेंगे ये लोग? अच्छा, what happens to the bodies of, there are how many birds do you think we have in this beautiful HPCL colony? कितने होंगे? हाँ? Thousands, tens of thousands. हाँ? BPCL में तो और भी ज्यादा होंगे, इतना greenery है कि नहीं? What happens when these birds die? एयर में खत्म हो जाते हैं, बट उनका बॉडी को क्या होता है? नहीं, एयर में तो नहीं होते. They don't decompose in the air. What happens to their bodies? Have you ever thought about it? What happens when a bird dies?
The other living entities, insects.
Other living entities, like either bigger birds like vultures, they will kill a bird, they will eat a dead body of a bird, or crows, which are the natural scavengers of nature. Crows come and eat those bodies. मरा हुआ चीज को कोई हाथ नहीं लगाता है. Only vultures and crows do this. They are the scavengers of nature. What if there were no crows? You would have stinking bodies all over the place because no predator eats dead bodies. They eat alive. They don't eat dead birds. मरा हुआ चूहा रहेगा तो प्रेडेटर आके नहीं खाता है उसको, जिंदा चूहे को खाता है. Look at the design of nature. It's amazing, right? Just imagine if the earth didn't have unlimited resources to produce fruits and vegetables, grass that the goats eat, that the animals eat, and the vegetables and fruits that we eat. It's all been generated from Mother Earth, unlimited, from time immemorial. पता नहीं कब से चल रहा है और कब तक चलते जाएगा. Oil खत्म हो जाएगा, लेकिन fruits and vegetables खत्म ही नहीं होंगे. are what? कहाँ से आ रहा है? By chance? Isn't there a design in this? Right? Imagine, okay, one more thing. I'll give you one more thought, takeaway. Imagine if the clouds, imagine if there was nothing called cloud. There was only sky, there was earth, and there was nothing called cloud. How would we get rains? Because all the water would get over. Like all the oxygen, if there's no replenishment, all the water lakes हम लोग तो मतलब ऐसे खत्म कर देंगे सब पानी को. फिर बाकी पानी कहाँ से आएगा? Because there are rains, therefore the water bodies keep getting replenished. Where is the rain coming from? From the clouds. Imagine if a cloud didn't have the ability to carry water. A cloud is something that's floating in the sky, maybe 5-6 kilometers in the sky, floating, carrying some maybe 3 lakh tons of water in it. But it doesn't fall down. Imagine if there were no cloud, didn't have the ability to carry that water. And the cloud knows how to distribute the water also. एक बार गलती हुई थी 26 July 2005 where the cloud burst and whole water came down in 2 hours. All the water came down. Everyone was devastated. Right? Imagine if that could happen every day. Every day of monsoon, one cloud is like, बहुत हो गया आज burst हो जाए. Finished. We'll be all finished in no time. We'll be devastated. Huh? So imagine, because the clouds have the capacity to carry water 2 miles, 5 miles in the sky and know how to distribute it. And there's one more very important instrument there, the wind. The wind carries those clouds all over the earth, distributes those clouds so that there is rain everywhere. Imagine if this was not there. All this happened by chance. Right? So we have to understand that all this creation that we see around us, you don't even need to go cosmic यूनिवर्स वगैरह देखने, इधर अपना जमीन पे जो हमको दिखता है रोज, जो टच फील सी कर सकते हैं हम लोग. With that also we have enough proof that this world did not come about by chance. There is a clear and very definite element of design. Design implements designer. So if you are wearing, Mataji is wearing, both these Matajis are wearing a nice dress, which has got a nice design on it. Design तो आपने आप किया. ऐसा हो सकता है क्या? किसी ने डिजाइन किया है ना उसको, इसीलिए तो ये डिजाइन बना है. So when we see design, we have to understand there is a designer. These are all elements of design. Right? So there is a design in everything in the cosmic creation. There is facility for enjoyment and suffering in every planet in this material world. However, to conclude, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mam Upetya tu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. He says, from the highest planet in the material world, which is the highest planet? Satyaloka. Who lives there? A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery. All are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. Brahma may live a very long time, but he also has birth and death. He also has anxiety. There is anxiety in this material world. There is suffering in this material world. Even at the level of Brahma, some anxiety, less than us. Their standard of enjoyment is higher. Their standard of suffering is lower. But it is there, like a pinprick. जैसा कोई महाकरोड़पति रहेगा, लेकिन उसको क्या डर है कि नीचे कोई बॉम्ब रखा, मेरे गेट के सामने गाड़ी में बॉम्ब रख के चला गया. एंजाइटी है. He may have that level security, but he is also afraid. Yeah? No one is free from this. Wherever you are, highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery where repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So our purpose in life, why we go through all this creation and all these things, ये topics हम लोग क्यों जाते हैं? It is not for intellectual stimulation. Maybe it may happen, maybe it may not. Maybe you may fall asleep. I don't blame you because science सबको नहीं जमता है, right? But these are not topics we study for intellectual stimulation. We study to reinforce our faith that these words of Bhagavatam are true. There was a creator who created what we are seeing. That creator was intelligent. There are million proof points all over our Earth planet that shows the intelligence that has gone into the design of this creation. And therefore, we understand that words of Bhagavatam are true. And we should surrender to the ultimate purpose of Bhagavatam, which is to surrender to Krishna. If we can do that, our life is perfect. Then we don't need to worry कि कौन सा planet में जाएंगे, ऊपर नीचे. माम उपेत्य पुनर्जन्म, no more. You will not get punarjanma. You will go back to God. I'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hare. Any questions, comments? Anybody would like to add anything or any questions? Because the Rakshasas are not necessarily only sinful. Some of them have sinful tendency, but they are great followers of Vedic path. So therefore, they have pious activity as well. So that's why they may be in those plans. Awesome. Yeah, you had a question. हाँ.
भगवान को भी बस देखिए अच्छा काम
हाँ.
मुझे माटी का नहीं रहना है, मुझे जाना ही पड़ेगा.
हाँ.
That is my main goal.
Okay.
और रास्ते में जाते-जाते मैं मतलब बॉर्डर वाले रास्ते में जा सकता हूँ कि मतलब किसी.
I got it. Nice question. So Prabhuji, he's asking that अगर मैं पुण्य काम कर रहा हूँ, सबका भला कर रहा हूँ, चैरिटी दे रहा हूँ, गरीबों में प्रसाद बांट रहा हूँ, किसी को ब्लैंकेट दे रहा हूँ, कहीं पानी का फाउंटेन लगा रहा हूँ, ये सब पुण्य काम है. ये पुण्य काम करने से can I go back to Godhead? Right? That is your question. Answer is no. If the answer is no, if, and that's a big if, because what happens is when हम लोग ऐसे पुण्य कार्य करते हैं, हम लोग पुण्य कार्य इसीलिए करते हैं क्योंकि हमें ये पता है कि ये पुण्य करने से हमें स्वर्ग प्राप्त होगा. ये जो सब कार्य है ना, these are for their materialistic things that we are doing for benefit of others, which is very wonderful. You will be rewarded for that. But if we are doing it because I want to go to स्वर्ग और मेरा नाम रोशन होगा, और बेंच के ऊपर लिखा जाएगा डोनेटेड बाय श्रीमती कल्याणी बेन सोलंकी, ऐसा वो मेरा नाम आएगा, उधर डोनेटेड बाय प्रफुल्ल कुमार शाह, ऐसा वो नाम आएगा. इफ आई एम डूइंग फॉर दैट, then I will get that. I will get fame. I will get heavenly planets. I will get great opulence in my this life or next life. But I will not get Godhead. I will not be liberated from material world. I will stay here. However, if I am very well off, suppose हो सकता है ना, भगवान ने बहुत धन दिया है, बहुत एकदम कड़क दबा के धन दिया है आपको, and you want to serve humanity with that dhan, along with your Krishna consciousness, everything. You also want to serve humanity. By all means, करो. You do it as दान कर्म with no attachment. बिल्कुल attachment नहीं है. ये भगवान ने दिया है, भगवान को ही वापस कर रहा हूँ, भगवान के जनों को वापस कर. If we have that consciousness, we can still go back to God. I'll give you an example. Like there is, you'll have heard of Mafatlal Group. तो मफतलाल ग्रुप का जो चेयरमैन था अर्लियर, अरविंद भाई मफतलाल. Arvind Mafatlal was that kind of a person. Okay, he was Ram Bhakt. चित्रकूट में उसने इतना एक्टिविटी, चित्रकूट में so much, they have done humanitarian work, they have set up hospitals, schools, and so many things they have done. So he was completely, वो बोलते हैं ना, कर्म yogi, but pure devotee at the same time. He used to do karma continuously, non-stop, and his children have continued. Rishikesh Mafatlal and Maithili Desai. They are doing the same thing even now. अभी भी वही continue कर रहे हो. Father ने जो चालू किया, बच्चे भी वही कर रहे हैं. So इनका क्या फंडा रहता है कि हमको भगवान ने दिया है तो हम भगवान के और भगवान के भक्तों की सेवा में लगा दें. So they do in Chitrakoot. He is doing in Chitrakoot. Why? Because he is Ram Bhakt. तो वहाँ के चित्रकूट के जो धामवासी लोग हैं, मैं उनकी सेवा करूंगा. So he is taking that way. Now he is such a person. So this is a story I heard when, after he passed away, we were fortunate, we were invited for that memorial, जो स्मारक करते हैं ना, उसमें हम लोग गए थे. तो उसमें someone told a story. Apparently he donated for some big hospital. एक बड़ा हॉस्पिटल के लिए उन्होंने डोनेट किया. एंड वो हॉस्पिटल जब इनॉग्रेट हो रहा था, तो वहां पे एक बड़ा उन लोग ने प्लाक लगाया था, नेम्ड दैट दिस हैज बीन डोनेटेड बाय अरविंद मफतलाल, ऐसा करके अच्छा सा वहां पे कुछ ऐसा पोस्टर लगा के रखा था वो लोग ने. सो अरविंद मफतलाल व्हाइल ही इज कमिंग इनसाइड, ही जस्ट उनका उस पे नजर गिर गया. ही सेड ये किसने लगाया है? तो किसी ने बोला है, किसी ने तो लगाया है, ये निकालो उसे. नहीं निकालेंगे ना बाद में, और इनॉग्रेशन सब हो जाए तो निकाल. He insisted that I will not enter the hospital till that is removed. निकालो पर, पर ये मैंने नहीं दिया. It's not me. I don't want my name there in any shape or size. This is true akarma with no attachment to the fruit. If we do our activities in that mood, and I am doing this for the Supreme Lord, for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna's devotees, I am doing this, and I have no expectation that anyone should even acknowledge. हर टाइम स्पॉन्सर करता है feast को, हर टाइम ये करता है, हर टाइम. If you have any such expectation, that activity will not take us back to God. But when we do an activity with pure heart, only for pleasure of Krishna, only for pleasure of the Vaishnavas, that activity will take us on the path back. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, one question if you allow. Hare Krishna.
Yes, online.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Wonderful lecture about the creation of the universe. We have Brahmaji has created the lower planets and then higher planets. So, somehow we what we read from the science is that we have this universe, the Milky Way, and then the solar system, and then that doesn't that doesn't have much of any connection with what actually is there in SB. So how do we if you tell someone about this, what SB is there is true. That's what we have understood. We have to believe it.
That is what Prabhu. So that's what Prabhuji is asking, that what is there in the Bhagavatam, right? What I just described, for example, 14 planetary systems. We don't see that in our Milky Way. We don't see that in our universe, so to say. That's your question, right, Prabhu?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So basically, क्या है? We can only see what we are able to see. For instance, I can't see what is happening in the wall beyond this. मुझे नहीं दिखता. मैं कितना भी इंस्ट्रूमेंट लगाऊं, कुछ भी करूं, मुझे नहीं दिखता. अभी ये ब्रह्मे प्रभु के शरीर के अंदर क्या चल रहा है? What is going on right now? I can't see. Even if I want to see, I can't see. So there are a lot of things in this world that are limited by our senses. Our senses, even with the best of instruments, our senses have limitations. There are things that we can't see because we are not being given the eyes to see. Therefore, many of these higher planetary systems, lower planetary systems, they are subtle, so we can't see them. But on the word of the Bhagavatam, we accept that these planets exist. And there are enough stories in the Bhagavatam and various other Puranas which give us evidence that these planets exist and people have gone there and have come back. So that is how we accept. That is one level. Second level, as I said, in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is this topic called Vedic cosmology. So for that, हम बाप आदमी को लेके आएंगे
Bhuvaneswar Prabhu.
एकदम विस्तार में समझा पाएगा कि कैसे correlation between the material universe as we see it and the Bhagavatam version of the universe. So that is Pavaneshwar Prabhu. He is in fact, as we speak today, he was having a seminar from 4 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. I wanted to attend, but because I was preparing, I could not attend. So he is doing I think alternate Sunday he is doing on Vedic cosmology. But 5th canto जब हम लोग आएंगे तब हम जरूर उनको लेके आएंगे and he will hopefully answer your question in more detail than I have given. Is that okay?
Okay,
Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Any other questions or shall we end? Yeah, we'll have Kirtan. Yeah. Next time करते हैं. It's already 40.
Yeah, super class, Prabhuji. Superb,
Hare
superb.
So okay, so we'll have Kirtan now for a few minutes. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
of course. Of course.